My name is Igor. I am 29 years old. I have a university degree, but it didn't come in handy in my life. I work as a foreman in the traffic police. The work is stable, except for a couple of winter months, when there is stagnation. I'm fond of car audio. I loved, playing a game console with my brother. The physique is ordinary, but strong due to constant physical work. My parents are divorced. My father has his own family. My mother has my sister with a pack of her children. I rarely communicate with them. My wife will be 28 years old in 2 weeks. Good higher education, following in the footsteps of her parents. 2 children, a 6-year-old boy and a 3-year-old girl. We've been dating since I was 16, and she's 15. It's my first time having sex, but not her first. There were a lot of things during that time: quarrels, infidelities. She left many times. However, I wasn't alone either. There was always someone. But I have never experienced anything even like this with other girls. And then a chance meeting, or a memory of hers or mine, and we're back together. In general, such nonsense existed before the junior years of the institute. After about a year's break, they decided to finally get together. I find a good part-time job for the summer between seasons, so I have enough money to spend the winter, and everything has been fine for 3 years. We went to the seaside, a ferry tour of Europe, and we're having a baby there. And then the question of the wedding arose. Her parents offered to pay for everything, but on their terms, without a bunch of people. The parents are witnesses, and that's it. It doesn't suit me. I work part-time and arrange it myself, not posh, for the way they wanted. Then the decision was made to live with her parents, since after college they did not understand how to live at all, and it's easier with a small child in their arms. And mom's intense pressure begins. With a changed situation, the money ran out in a month from the summer. I'm looking for a job. There's a crisis in the country. There aren't many options. I've been sitting with my wife and child on her parents' necks for 3 months, looking for work and getting it safely, which is to be expected. They showed me everything that was possible and impossible, and pointed the finger at the door. I quickly find the first job I can find, spend time with my child, and communicate with my wife sometimes. In the course of another conversation, I get a complaint that you didn't even make me an offer. Well, in fact, I didn't even think that when you have a belly bigger than you, a date has been set, and you also need to make an offer. At that time, I was thinking how to save up enough money to pay for everything without her parents. From the very first paycheck, I quickly buy a ring, get down on one knee during the next walk, and propose to my already legitimate wife. She melted away. Communication got better, but a week later a call came. I thought about it and decided to get a divorce anyway. I listened and realized that it wasn't her, but mom's decision. Anyway, we're sitting in court, and I'm holding a 1-year-old baby. There, apparently, the girl got stuck and decided to think more. And a week later, she withdrew the application. Everything is fine again. I'm changing jobs. By this time, the house where the apartment was bought is being completed, again by her parents. I'm doing repairs there alone. Everything is fine. We decide to have a second child. It turns out a daughter is born. By the way, I gave her the name of the boy, and she gave me the name of the girl. Her grandfather is dying. A bigger apartment is being vacated. and workers are already doing repairs there. Moving in, this apartment is for rent. Her mother offers to go with her, with the children, to the sea. We're on our way, and at one point there's a little argument going on. We return, and I realize that my wife has had a good brainwash again. They show me the door again, and for 2 months there's been a lot of brainstorming. But again, after getting over it, we draw conclusions, and everything seems to be getting better. Everything seems to be fine for the last 2 years, and even my mother-in-law has come to terms with me, as it seemed to me. My wife says she's tired of staying at home. The children go to kindergarten, and I arranged to give my wife a job at my office. He's been working for 6 months, and the constant sawing starts on the topic, "You're not helping me at all. I get tired," and so on. But she works 5 days a week for a maximum of 8 hours. I've been here for 6 days, 12 or more, and I often come in after the kids are asleep. We combine vacations. But almost in front of him, she says that her mother calls her and the children to the sea, and the sea is good for the children. I decide not to argue, let him go. Upon returning to work, I notice that my wife begins to complain strongly that work has begun to depress her, and so on. There is a domestic quarrel, a typical one. We sat down and talked, sort of discussed it. It's time to make up in bed, but she doesn't want to in the morning. He gets up in the morning and goes to work 15 minutes earlier. After work, there are constant cases, then to the doctor, then to mom, anywhere but home. He makes sure everything is fine at home. I have to go to work in the morning. There is no intimacy. There is no communication. There is no food at home. What's the matter? The answer is, I get tired at work. He doesn't talk. He says that everything is fine. As a result, the final, I tried to overcome myself, but I don't feel anything for you. I tried for the sake of the children. Let's live separately. I need to cool down. Everything pisses me off. And he leaves for the country. At this time, having already read the literature on this topic, I turn on a kind of disregard. I do not write to her. I do not call, but I answer. Since all the information is about children, but with an admixture of conversation about nothing. I'm getting into work. A long time ago, we were invited by a man from work with crocodile gene syndrome to his cottage. Another call comes in for this speech, and we decide to go in order to change the situation. But the day before, information arrives that I'm tired of sitting alone in the country with the children, and I'm going to visit earlier. I'm wondering how I'm going to get there, 400 kilometers away, and I get hysterical because I only think about myself. And he leaves with the children. I find a bus, sleep for 4 hours after work, and drive there for half a day. I am greeted by happy children. This guy with a glass and a half of beer at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and a wife with an extremely unhappy face. A real spectacle begins at the cottage. He is such a brutal hunter, waving a pack of guns, drinking moonshine all day, and, in general, keeps the whole rural life on himself. She's following him around. And he has no front teeth, 100 kilos of hanging belly, moss sticking out of his armpits in all directions, and in addition a hairstyle, hop-stop from the 90s. I decide that, in principle, I came to the children, and not to sort things out, and I will be with them. Apparently my plan was not satisfied, There is a provocation in the form of a door slamming in my face when I went into the house. I open it and ask what the hell. The wife theatrically leaves the house. I follow her, repeating the question. The answer is, "I don't want to see you," and it turns around again. I'm starting to get bombed, and I ask why they came here at all, to which I receive a decision on divorce. The reasons: everything is boring, there are no feelings. Am I clarifying all this? Or is there someone else in the reasons? No. I say okay. But we decide not to spoil the weekend for the children, since they haven't really been to the village, just the cottage and gardening. We agreed to discuss everything upon their return. Well, still, they kind of came to visit. 2 days of such an alpha male performance, a sauna, where everyone was together, and with children in swimming trunks and swimsuits. Our hunter is also a master bath attendant. She asked him to steam her with a broom in such a voice that I almost threw up. I have the same voice, as if I shat in her slippers. He's out of the steam room, she's behind him, smoking, and vice versa. Then a trip to the store, the same behavior in the car. The village peasant does what he wants and tells others everything. Fishing is the same, barbecue, and so on. In short, there's too much theater, even for me. We go to bed, of course, in different beds with her, but you can see her from mine. I in my room. This pretzel takes off his socks, so that the windows are fogged up, and lies down to stare at the phone. I'm lying there watching. She has one message, 2, 3. And the phone doesn't make any sounds at all, only the screen lights up. Bombs. I get up and pull out my phone, but it manages to get on the block. I demand to remove it, to which the answer is my personal life. It doesn't concern you. Fuck you and give me the phone. In general, it's a total scream. And all this time this gorilla is standing sideways between us, like so that I don't hit my wife. Otherwise she's afraid of me. I'm showing them what kind of circus they've set up for me here. They say they're absolutely freaking out. To which the villager says that he communicated with his wife, and not with mine. And they say, "What am I presenting here?" Pushes his wife into the room with the children, collect them, and go to the neighbor's house to sleep. Then, word by word, we've already tangled with him. But due to the significant difference in weight, I'm being bullied that this is his territory, and that we should solve our own affairs ourselves, and it doesn't concern him. Then his wife theatrically threw the rings into the grass and screamed, "Give me back my phone. I love someone else, and it's not my business anymore. Give me back my phone." So we split up. I'm with her phone in my pocket. She's hysterically sleeping. In the morning, I decide that I've had enough of the circus, and I'm gone. Answer: return the phone. Tell me the password, and I'll return it. No, give me back my phone. The situation is a dead end. And then Madam makes arrangements, though with herself, that we leave, and on the way I give her the phone. Along the way, there is a polite discussion about what and how the divorce will go, the financial part, even apologies for breaking up the family, and so on. We're coming and return the phone again. I reply that I will return it when I find out who the correspondent was with. The answer is that she can't tell who because it's not just her responsibility. In short, soap with soap. He says that yes, this is actually a manly bazubik, and they say they communicate. And she didn't want to talk so that his family wouldn't recognize him. In the end, I pack my things, divide the money that we saved for the second car, say goodbye to the children and leave. And I decide to take revenge on my wife and her lover. Since he works in our office, there was no problem finding out where he lives. I went to his wife and told her everything. They had a terrible scandal, and his wife filed for divorce. And I filed for divorce too. I'm sitting here thinking, how could I have endured such humiliation for so long? But now I'm doing well. I quit that job, and now I'm even earning very well. My main income, of course, is in the shadows. Since my wife has filed for alimony for 2 children, I'd rather buy them everything I deem necessary. My wife tried to make peace when she was abandoned by that toothless alpha male, but I sent her culturally. That's the story. Subscribe to the channel and click on the bell to not miss new stories.